get 上出来，你们就可以等会儿讲。开始，等一下。好，开始，你们说吧，你们可以说话了，你们自己聊天吧。等会儿我说我倒数了，你们再听。聊吧，聊天。
没有，为什么要讲？
我今天头痛哎。
啊，你今天头？没关系。
反正刚才我加了240。
就是我的东西就先上来。对。
但是你们难不能
哪就行了？
我可以回饭店去，不要面上看，我也不高兴。哎，什么叫中国共产党？党叫干啥就干啥。黑夜即将到，
看那不是说什么打要打什么，什么奉陪到底什么玩意儿。
是。
软叫什么？他只要给上足够的颜面，他们是要去来尝的。足够的有什么的话，不要
直接水。
台湾啊，海啊。
干死共产党！干死共产党！干死共产党！干死共产党！不干死共产党，绝不罢休！消灭中共是正义的需要。
来了吗？还有30秒。
说肯定是会脱钩的是吧？
说什么？
美国跟中国一定是要脱钩的。
我天，那肯定啊，那都不脱咋整啊？那不脱咋活呀？活不下去了。
10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1，开始。
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Exposing the CCP, and we're going to continue to discuss some interesting truth about the CCP. And recently, since 2 weeks ago, Trump administration announced tariff war against especially China. And we're going to find out what's going on. So many chaoses, and let's see what does it mean to the CCP, and really is tariff gonna terminate the CCP. Okay, and welcome our two guests today. Again is our friend Nina and also Chris. Hi Nina.
Hi, Z. Glad to join the show and share more updates about the terror situation.
Great, and then our guest is Chris.
Hi everyone. I'm happy to be on the show again. Thank you.
Excellent. The tariffs probably means a lot. It influences every aspect of our lives, political, economic. The short term, there might be a slight increase in the price, but the long term, it's again the competitive war against the CCP. Can we win this war all over the world? Again, let's watch the video, and we'll be right back.
现在中美之间这个仇恨可够大了，不管中美政府宣布什么话，中美之间不脱钩绝不可能，因为政府决定不了美国私营企业，所有美国私人企业一定会撤出，包括苹果，包括微软，绝对中共，而且利用中共发财。
So, if you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%, that's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation, and trade barriers. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less time, and anybody be upset. They will be, because we never charge anybody anything. But now we're going to charge.
Sign up for free and be part of the movement.
This is just an app. This is just a social media platform.
Download GETTR right now.
6、5、4、3、2、1，好，开始。哎呦，这个不好，这个画面不好。好。
There has been decoupling voice since a few years ago, even the first Trump administration time, and Navarro and some other economic advisors recommended President Trump at that time to decouple with communist China, because under the current situation, right, you see a lot of hard-working money by the American people are deployed by the CCP, and the CCP have gained a huge economic advantage over the last 20 years because of opening policies and dominate almost somewhere between a third to almost half of the global supply chain for many markets. And this status actually created the arrogancy of the Xi. Believe he can rule the world eventually. That's his desire. And okay, let's start with Chris. What do you think of this tariff? Is President Trump ready to take part on the CCP now?
Yeah, okay. I think the United States is finally awakening. At last, there's a president with the guts to confront the Chinese Communist Party head on with a combination of punches. Like, to take down the CCP, President Trump is doing two things to strengthen America. There's a Chinese saying called 开源节流, which means reduce expenditure and increase revenue. First, he is cutting spending, which is exactly what Dodge is working on to prevent America from going bankrupt. Secondly, he is using tariff, restructuring trade rules through tariffs. This will lead to a reversal of globalization while accelerating the decoupling of the United States and China. Ultimately, it aims to take down the CCP. Yeah, and also that about the globalization, I think the globalization has weakened and dismantled American manufacturing, which means weakening America's nation's strength while redistributing global manufacturing to China. This in turn has strengthened the CCP's manufacturing and bolstered the CCP's national power, with the ultimate goal of taking down the United States. However, President Trump's rise to power has completely reversed this situation and disputed the CCP's expansion plans. And also that this round of tariff is also forcing countries around the world to pick a side, whether to stand with the United States and negotiate mutually beneficial trade deals, or to align with the CCP and continue taking advantage of the U.S. Currently, nations worldwide are eager to keep doing business with the U.S. and are lining up to secure new trade deals with America. For example, these deals could involve mutual tariff reduction, purchasing more American services and products, increasing investment and factory setups in the United States, preventing the CCP from laundering origins of goods, and ultimately achieve a balance in trade surplus and deficits. So in the short term, President Trump's enemies, such as the banking cartel and hedge funds, are manipulating the stock market and U.S. Treasury bonds to create panics, causing some market volatility. However, in the long run, trade will flourish even more. The stock market will reach new heights, and the ultimate beneficiaries will be the people. Once these new trade deals are finalized and implemented, it will signal that countries worldwide are ready to decouple from the CCP. Thank you.
Right, that's great to see the world are ready to decouple from the CCP, because that's the important things that Miles Guo has emphasized since he started the whistleblower movement. Okay, now to Nina. There's so many different voices from all over the world, and on the list you can see many different countries are maybe affected. And what's your opinions on this tariff?
So basically, in this old revelation video from Mr. Miles Guo, he very firmly confirmed that the U.S. companies, doesn't matter how the government policy, the company will decouple with China. And then the reason is because since 2001, the China joined this World Trade Organization, the global, the version. They're shifting all their manufacturing jobs from their own China. This is literally means deindustrialize each nations, and they're shifting their jobs to China. This has benefited the CCP a lot. The economy booming in the past 2 decades. We witness it, and we also see the weakening American, also Europe, and they are now facing this challenge, great challenge, the live and death situation. So they have no choice. This decouple with China is must do thing and must happening in the short run or long run. And in this video, Donald Trump also said this is a reciprocal tariff. That means China was playing this unfair game in the past decades. And now this game, the rules has been corrected. And China has to adjust their policies to align with the Western world. Whether China will do according the US requirement, we don't know. But decouple is on the run. Thank you.
All right, yeah, there were so many voices. The President Trump might change his mind, but from recently, I think he further increased the tariff rates on Communist China to 245% on some commodity goods, and I think this one showed his very firm actions against this Communist China, and I hope this will continue because people always wonder about back in 2019 when the Trump administration reached an agreement with China, and they didn't really fulfill their deal, and they released the CCP virus and disrupted the whole economy, and basically they don't have to make any commitments at all. And there are a lot of interesting things about redistribution of this global supply chains, moving the distribution out of Communist China to other places to reduce the risk or de-risk. There's so many possibilities there, but we already seen inside of the Communist China, they're probably in a mess because they need money to. It's not cheap to maintain their sovereignty, and they spend billions of dollars every day on the surveillance, on the propaganda, on many places. So they need money. If the Communist China, if she loses money, how can he sustain his ruling? So that's a big question. Anyway, there's another important fact when President Trump showed the board, and he specifically mentioned that Taiwan as a country. So I don't know if that's an interesting signal. Also, let's watch the second video, and we'll be right back.
On the board, President Trump refers Taiwan as a country. So how significant is this, and what message do you think it's sending to the CCP?
That's why I love coming on with you guys. You're so much better than the world's media. This is huge. Okay, so first off, President Trump holding that symbolically is like Moses holding the Ten Commandments, right? I mean, that's why normally you would have an assistant hold that. President Trump grabbed it because it's very iconic. If you go back to the Bible and what Christians think, that is like Moses holding the Ten Commandments. Because I had Jack Posobiec and others saying, hey, my president shouldn't be holding a chart. I said he's holding a chart for the cameras for a reason. It's so powerful. Number two, you guys are the only guys besides us to get that. He refers to Taiwan separately. Hey, he didn't put out any other province in China, right? That quite frankly are as big as, economically, particularly around Canton, which are big as, all of Europe as far as economic output. He put Taiwan. I think that also shows, and for people in mainland China working this, also shows the mentality of the staff. The staff around President Trump and the people that work for President Trump very much are pro-independence for Taiwan. And I will tell you, we understand that that's a tripwire with the CCP. Nothing makes them more crazy.
I think this stance definitely will piss off Xi, because he always want to they call it reunite Taiwan, or basically conquer Taiwan with the military or other forces. So that's a really good news, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, for people in Taiwan, it's a great news, because when President Trump treats Taiwan as an independent nation, it signifies that the United States is not sitting idly by while the CCP expands. The U.S. and Taiwan will work closely together from 1949 to the 1960s to curb the spread of communism. Like the United States supported Taiwan through the Mutual Defense Treaty between the United States and the Republic of China, signed in 1954, and related aid programs. These including providing funds, materials, and technical assistance to help Taiwan stabilize its economic, develop infrastructures, and advance agriculture. According to historical data, between 1951 and 1965, U.S. aid to Taiwan totaled approximate 1.5 billion in economic assistance and 2.5 billion in military aids. This period is known as the U.S. aid era, as American assistance played a crucial role in Taiwan's post-war reconstruction and economic takeoff. Therefore, this time, Taiwan must continue to closely cooperate with the United States, with both sides helping each other. And also that we can see the United States has also helped many countries around the world, keeping its tariff very low, while many nations impose high tariff on U.S. goods. Taiwan being one example. For instance, in Taiwan, the total tax rate on an imported American cars is 60.39%. Taiwan levels high tariffs on imported vehicles. Normal trade between countries should involve mutual imports and exports to achieve a reasonable balance. Taiwan currently has a trade surplus with the U.S. of 70.9 billion. Taiwan could increase its purchase of American products and services, and Taiwan's business could shift their development toward the U.S. Back when China opened up its economy, many Taiwanese companies moved from Taiwan to set up factory in China. Now, this approach can be reversed, with business heading to the U.S. to establish companies there. Right? For example, Argentina has already negotiated mutual tax exceptions with the U.S., and Taiwan could follow this example by discussing mutual tariff reductions with the United States. Additionally, there is a need to prevent China from laundering the origin of goods through Taiwan. So there's lots between Taiwan and the United States, which we can both work together. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is a very encouraging movement, and I think both economically and politically means a lot to Taiwan. It first probably make the security of Taiwan a very important case right now. We know the Communist China, especially Xi, wants to take over Taiwan for a long time, and there has been doing this military practices over the last few months and try to threaten, the world that I might take Taiwan, and what you're going to do with your semiconductor supply chain. So that's a great threat to the rest of the world. And now to the Nina. So this Taiwan is a very important places, of course, and the some fact that Chris discussed was very interesting too. There used to be a great relationship, actually. Not CCP, but overall the Chinese people at that time after around World War II and also shortly after, and hopefully this time we're gonna rebuild that trust again. What's your opinion on this Taiwan?
First of all, Roy, in this interview, Mr. Bannon pointed out this important information on this chart. So American treat Taiwan as an independent nation. And as you mentioned, right after the Second World War, U.S. has a great relationship with Taiwan. I want to put this geopolitical topic aside. I want to mention about the culture part. China, Chinese people who are living in mainland China have been through these brainwash procedures, and all the traditional Chinese culture has been destroyed by the CCP over the past 70 years. And we have seen like the Taiwan is real, the traditional Chinese culture still maintained with the the Taiwanese Chinese. And this is our last hope, that we cannot let the CCP to destroy Taiwan, and this is completely ruined the real Chinese culture. And this is something U.S. government also. Mr. Bannon mentioned that the White House staffs surrounded Mr. President Trump. They're aware of it, and they understand the importance of Taiwan. That's why they prepare this chart in this way. And I don't think this terror thing is important information on this chart as an independent nation. And then the second is also, if the CCP attack Taiwan, this is literally destroying the first island chain and also destroying the US dollar. China CCP attack Taiwan is not only attacked this island. This is with the purpose to destroy US dollar. And I think American people, a lot of them start to understanding this point and understanding the importance of Taiwan. So we will see how the current U.S. government will play and to deal with CCP's threat to Taiwan.
Yeah, that will be very interesting in the next few months. What they're going to do. Are they going to fight back? Or are they going to cut out to the U.S. say, oh, okay, we're going to lower your tariff rate, and that will also both ways. It will kill the CCP, because if reducing the tariff, cut the tariff rate, they're losing their income. If they are strong on America, maybe there will be some kind of conflict and will terminate them also. So now it's a choice by Xi and also his team, what they want to do now. Okay, so let's focus on this third topic today. I think we're going to talk about the what's going to happen to the world. We know that back in the COVID times, I don't know. At that time, actually, the perfect time, as Miles emphasized many times, it's a perfect time to decouple from China because the Xi decided to lock down the whole nation, and the people are forced to stay home forever. There's a huge disruption to the whole world economy and supply chain, and they could have moved their supply chain out of China at that time. So therefore, right now we have much a safer situation, but the communist China took advantage of one drawback, like the low tariff rate among all nations, especially Southeast Asia and also Mexican, Canada. China used them as a jump board to export their goods to avoid the high tariff rate that Trump administration sanctioned on during his first term. So, but now it looks like Trump is much smarter now. He's trying to basically calling out to all the nations, especially Vietnam, all these nations. You got to stand with the U.S. You need to make a choice. You cannot cope with the CCP anymore. And let's watch the third video, and we'll continue our discussion later.
Our thing right now, East Asia. In that part of East Asia could not be more on fire. It's so much more important than Ukraine right now. It's so much more important than the Middle East and Gaza. It's so much more important than even the Persian efforts to get a nuclear weapon. The most important things happening in the world right now are happening in East Asia, around Taiwan, in South Korea, around Japan, and all this is driven by in Southeast Asia with Cambodia and Vietnam. Vietnam, as you know, has a long historical hatred of China and the Chinese people. The Vietnamese people and the Chinese people have never gotten along, right? This is where I think they're going to kowtow. The Vietnam's going to throw in hard with the Americans and say, hey, we'll go to zero tariffs. You tell us what we want to do, but we don't want to get crushed economically, that we're in partnership with the West, and we will also help defend with the Philippines, the South China Sea. So, folks, the stakes could not be getting higher. And, hey, it was Miles Guo that told us we were going to get to this point, right? Everything Miles has told us is kind of worked out. If you go back and listen to the old tapes of Miles Guo, he was.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Bannon, for reiterating the importance of Miles Guo and intelligence. If the world could have listened to his advices, we're in a much better situation. Right now we're still going through this. There might be a short-term pain, like Chris and Nina said. A lot of economists predicted, but we have to go through this. And the good news is, looking from the news, right? The Japan, Vietnam, and many other countries agree to start the negotiation with the U.S. Basically, they want to stay away from the communist China. And you also see the news, right? That Xi Jinping is going to visit the Southeast Asia in the coming week, next week. I think he planned to go to Vietnam first and a few other countries, and basically see the importance, how this tariff, it really hit the CCP very hard, and that's a very good news. Okay, so Chris, again, what's your opinion on this Southeast Asia policies and all these new tariff walls? Can you summarize it for us?
Sure. Since the goal is to take down the CCP, the focus naturally shifts to Asia. And Mr. Miles Guo once mentioned in his live stream that Vietnam is already discussing plans for the post-CCP collapse era. From Vietnam's proactive attitude in seeking a trade agreement with the US, it's clear that Vietnam will ultimately stand with the US. If the US and Vietnam reach agreement, the CCP will lose one of the countries it used to launder its products' origins. The First Island chain defense strategy can also extend to Vietnam. And also that the relationship between the Vietnamese Communist Party and the CCP has historically involved both cooperations and conflicts. The conflicts period after the Vietnam War, Vietnam-China relations deteriorate. In 1979, the Sino-Vietnamese War broke out due to the Cambodia issues and border disputes. with Vietnam, led by the Vietnamese Communist Party and supported by the Soviet Union, repelling China. Thereafter, the two sides remains hostile for a long time, with the South China Sea issues, including the Nine-Dash-Line dispute, further escalating tensions. Then, like the Communist Party of Vietnam governing Vietnam firmly opposed China's Nine-Dash-Line. Although Vietnam is also a communist country, nationalism plays a significant role in its policies, especially when dealing with China. Vietnam views the Nine-Dash-Line as an infringement of its sovereignty, particularly regarding the Paracel and Spratly Islands. In recent years, the Vietnamese government has, on one hand, strengthened its naval capabilities, and on the other, sought cooperation with countries like the United States, Japan, and India to counter China's actions in the South China Sea. For example, in 2029, Vietnam and the United States upgrade their relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnerships. So, like, I think in the long run, Vietnam will work with the United States, and like, because right now we can see like Xi Jinping is now visiting South Asia, but I don't think this time he will get what he wants. Thank you.
Right, it will be a big question. What people are going to treat his idea. He's trying to unite the whole Southeast Asia to go against the U.S. as a coalition. I don't know if he will be successful, and there are probably going to be a lot of political negotiation and struggle behind it, and that's a very complex situation. But eventually, I think she will not succeed. And okay, let's go to Nina.
Yes, so Mr. Mouse already revealed back in 2019 that the world started decouple with China, and that is from the strategic level. They're moving the supply chain away from China, and now it is almost complete, and we are facing this executive level. Like each individual company, they have to solve their pain. They have solved their supply chain problem. They have still moved some of these small manufacturers' production lines from China to their own manufacturing destinations. And this pain they have to deal with. This is the, this is the consequence that they didn't listen to Mr. Mouse's revelation back in 2019. They should have moved faster so that they couldn't suffer from, the COVID. They couldn't suffer from the current tariff, problem. And I hope they will move it as soon as possible. And this is good for your own people. Yeah.
Exactly. No matter what, it's a really good news, and it's definitely a big hit, a very hard hit on the CCP. And they need a lot of money. They need billions of dollars a year, tens of billion dollars every year to sustain their totalitarian regime. It's a very costly government. And how do they do it? We'll find out. But another good news is maybe there will be a internal rebellion. Because the life of the current Chinese people are miserable. They're suffering. They're losing jobs. They're losing money. And it doesn't like Xi will have a good economic policies to solve this problem right now. Okay, so now it's time to wrap up. There continue a lot of news coming out, and we'll share more and more with our audiences, and let's take down the CCP together. Let's use a few minutes from each of you to summarize what you think and anything you want to say to the audience. Let's start with Nina this time.
Yes, so first of all, we see the current government, President Trump's policy, and it clearly shows that he understands CCP much better than 4 years ago, 8 years ago, when he started the first term as the president. And now, how to say, we just wait for all the things happening. And of course, Chinese people, Chinese law basing is suffering from the policy, but this is not a problem caused by America. This disaster caused by the CCP. They has been taking the world advantage for too long, and now is enough. And also, I hope the Chinese law basing understands. CCP is using you as a sheep. They take off your wool and eating your meat now.
Right, this is the last moment. He's going to continue to exploit the Chinese people. Yeah, I feel very bad for them. All right, so Chris, thank you for your time. Could you summarize it?
Sure. I think President Trump is doing a favor for all of the consumers. Once the negotiating is done and all the countries lower their tariffs, then consumers can buy American product with a lower price. And also that I like the point that Z mentioned, like if the people in China can rise up and take down the Chinese Communist Party, that's the best scenario for the whole world. And in the future, the Chinese people can proudly tell the world that the Chinese people take down the CCP. And if this happens, then we will have a truly peaceful world. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll have a very peaceful world. And there's so many possibilities, and it's really hard to predict, but mostly we're on the right path to take down the CCP. And we're very happy that the Miles prediction again is true. It's proven to be true. He's still suppressed or oppressed by the collusions between some of the deep states and the Chinese Communist Party. But we hopefully will see him out very soon, continue to help, to support, provide more intelligence, correct intelligence to the US to make the right decisions. And we're right now at a very critical turning point year. And what we are going to do with Xi and CCP is very important. It determines, if we're going to have a peaceful transition from a communism, turn China from a communism state into a peaceful freedom and liberty state. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and it's time to wrap up. And if you have any questions, suggestions, you can leave us a comment and continue to follow NFSC and also Miles Guo. And thank you very much for your time. And thank you, Nina and Chris, for coming to the show today. And you have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Take down the CCP, take down the CCP, 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 take down the 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 CCP, 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 take down the CCP, take down the CCP, take down the CCP. Take down the CCP, take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. Let me tell you what I've been through, baby. Lived a life that was hella unfair. Seen things that been driving me crazy. In a country where the leaders don't care. Didn't think we had the courage to change it. Tore it down and they weren't prepared. Everything that they kept us from saying, now we talking and they better be scared. Take from us. Tell us what and who to love. Swear I finally had enough. It's time to rise above. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP.
sucks. Hard for me to give a fuck. I had to tell them and they try to keep it on the hush. Middle finger up, turn into a fist. They wanna keep the poor so they never rich. If you wanna see the future, look into the past. Been a century of silence, we gon' take it back. I'm just stating facts, tell you how it is. Ain't no way to change shit if we don't resist.
Take from us. Tell us what and who to love. Swear I finally had enough. It's time to rise above. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Communism's dead to me because it killed our families.
这是你我维护正义的必须，这是你我维护正义的必须。
Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP.